think by now everyone knows we have a state election in November. Lee Jones is the lead candidate for Family First Party and the candidate for South East Metropolitan. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, Peter.
Tell me a bit about yourself.
I suppose I got interested in politics or aware really of what was happening politically about 60 years ago when I had my own Andrew Thorburn moment. I was fired as a consequence of my faith, I guess was kind of surprised at what was going on.
Yeah.
But as I got into conversation with other people, I realised that my case was actually a lot less rare than I thought. And you could see things were changing in Victoria, making life potentially difficult for people of faith. So,
yes.
Yeah, that got me on the journey, and since then I have been involved in a number of different campaigns at state and federal level. And now it seems it's my time to step up. And stand for the things which are really important to us.
Great. That must have been a really tough time for you. What is Family First Party and why have you reformed?
Yes. Well, Family First was a great brand which rolled into the broader Australian Conservatives movement under Cory Bernardi.
Yes.
Of course, Cory finished that after the previous federal election. But that had built great infrastructure and just a great team of really committed people who are committed to causes of family and faith and freedom. And so Family First is reformed because, unfortunately, at this time there just seems to be an absence of voices countering the radical agenda of the left.
True.
And so really we're standing to answer this question of who will stand with you to protect you and your family from this radical political correctness which is changing our society.
That's amazing. Now, I've met Lyle Shelton. I've got a great admiration for him. I know that he currently heads up Family First Party. A lot of my friends would know Lyle Shelton and know that he's a strong Christian. Can we expect that all Family First candidates be strong Christians or Christians?
All the candidates we have at this point in time, and all the ones that are on our prospective list, are Christians.
Wow, that's wonderful. Now, coming down to the more practical side of the election coming up, why should someone vote for Family First?
Fundamentally, in Victoria, the way the voting system works means that there is almost always a significant crossbench. And we think in this current election, according to the polls, will be one of the largest crossbenches ever. So at least 30% of people, in fact 36% of people, are not planning to vote for a major party in their first preference. So that means there's an opportunity for the crossbench to exert significant influence, kind of like a rudder on a ship almost. And so it's worth us contending because we can make a difference. And what that means is that we can begin to address some of the issues that profoundly concern us. Issues of what your children are being taught in school, issues of freedom of religion. I mean, the Andrew Thorburn thing, I think, has woken a lot of people up to just how radical this agenda is becoming. Simply by mere association to a church, you risk losing your job. And of course, what's going on with abortion, this concept of abortion to birth, we find just incredibly abhorrent. It defies logic and reason that anyone thinks it's okay to abort a baby the day before it's due. The concept saddens and horrifies me. I think it saddens and horrifies most right-thinking people, and even many people who are pro-abortion are against abortion to birth. So we want to stand against those things. We want to stand for life, if you like, for the human rights of the unborn. We want to stand against unscientific gender indoctrination of our young people, and we want to stand for freedom of religion.
Sounds wonderful. You said small rudder steers a big ship, James 3:4. I love that scripture.
Yes, indeed.
Because it is absolutely true. And I look forward to having you as part of our new Victorian government and helping to steer the big ship. So how can Christians in Victoria help you?
The best way that they can help us at this point in time, pray. We're aware that this isn't just a political battle, but this is a spiritual battle. We believe there's a spirit of malaise and darkness that hangs over Victoria. We need to pray against that. On a practical level, we need volunteers to help us out on a number of fronts. We're still looking for a few more candidates to help fill out all our lowest house seats, which is very important in terms of the way that preference negotiations work. And we'd love any and all volunteers to help us with how to vote cards in pre-poll and on polling day itself. That makes a very, very large difference in terms of the first preference votes we collect, which makes a huge difference in terms of the way that the preferences subsequently flow. That is a massive deal for us if we can get help on that. So if people go to familyfirstparty.org.au and sign up as volunteers, that would be tremendously helpful. And of course, always open for donations, that's always helpful as well. Although do note that under Andrew's rather radical law, don't donate too much, maximum of $4,000 over any 4-year term. Or you can go to jail, because it's a criminal offence to support political causes now. It seems, how bizarre. Let's fight against that as well.
That's awesome, Lee. Thank you so much. We really need people like you in Victorian politics and some of your friends and colleagues as well. So thanks so much for having time to speak with our supporters today.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you to all your supporters who are listening and watching. Get behind Family First and other good Christian candidates from any party. And let's stand and make a difference.